Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I am Kaylee Patton. I am the marketing girl and a sales assistant at Oakwood Homes of Fletcher. I have a few notes to just share with y'all before I have Bryant and Brian come up here. First of all, we want to thank Land of the Sky for allowing us to come in here and bring y'all lunch and just talk to you guys and let you know, what we're up to, what we've got going on, how we could work with y'all. And I also want to thank every single one that showed up. To take an hour out of your day to listen to what we have to say is really important for us, and we really appreciate your time and your effort to make it here. Also, I put some baggies around the room. They're the little heart baggies. Inside of those are just some like goodies, and it also has my business card. My cell phone is on the business card. If you want to just pop my number in your phone and send me a text and say, hey, this is Jane Doe. I work with whoever, just want to kind of keep in touch with you. And we can kind of see what you're interested in that we could offer to you. And if we have anything pop up, we can text you, or you're welcome to text us at any time. And let's see. We would also love to invite every single one of you to come to Oakwood Homes of Fletcher. We have houses to display that y'all can walk into and kind of see, you know, what it looks like inside, how they're made. It's really interesting, and we would love to have y'all come to the office and then provide y'all lunch there as well. So at the end, if y'all want to get with me, I can schedule a day or time, and we can get something going. And we have Bryant Moss. He is our general manager. And we have Brian Miller. He is a home consultant. They both actually have history in real estate. I know Brian was in real estate for 20 years, right? And then came to Oakwood. And Bryant, he was with Oakwood and then left to do real estate and then came back. Right. So I would love for them to come up and share with y'all what we've got going on. And if you'll have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Again, like Kaylee said, my name is Bryant Moss. I'm the general manager at Oakwood Homes in Fletcher, North Carolina. I've been the general manager there for about 10 years. I had about 10 years of experience in the real estate industry, so definitely understand these lunch and learns and coming to find out what's going on, what's happening. So, but I want to thank y'all for just giving us just a little bit of your time. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to come out just to listen to what we have. So we're very grateful to be here. We know there's a big shortage in inventory and affordable housing, and we feel like could be part of that, part of the solution to that problem. Our company, we're part of the Clayton Homes. We're under the Clayton Homes umbrella. Of course, our company's been around for about 60 years. It's a Berkshire Hathaway company. We have a lot going on in regards to what we can offer. We have homes actually that start out as low as $40 some odd $1,000. So if you have a customer, and that's not including all of your installation and all, but if you have a customer that's simply, you know, have a relative or something that has a place to put a home, we can also partner with y'all in providing that home and turnkey on their property. So several homes that we could actually turnkey under 100 grand. We also do we design and do spec homes. Some of these homes are HUD coated and manufactured homes. Some of them are modular. We have a couple pictures out right there that you can kind of see some of our finished product. Our homes are energy smart, and energy net zero, which are, it's something I'll let Brian talk more about. You hear nowadays something called the hidden mortgage or something like that, where some people are paying a lot of money, you know, a few $100s a month in just energy bills. And we've created a home this year, actually last year, all of our homes are energy net zero. So you can save a lot of money from the utility costs. Again, back to some of our inventory, we have homes currently that we're setting up in the Hendersonville area. We've done some in the Asheville area. It's kind of sporadic whenever we can find an opportunity to buy and purchase large tracts or onesie twosies or whatever. We'll actually go in and design and put those homes and offer them for sale. And I'll let Brian talk more about the partnership of what we could put together.
Is Kaylee was offering that y'all are always welcome to come out to our dealership and take a look at what we have. I'm assuming that most of you have not been in a manufactured home that was built in the last 5 to roughly 10 years. Most of your experience is on much older homes. Remember the old daisies in the ceiling on the single wides that held the ceilings up? They have changed a lot.
Yes.
She was saying I've been in real estate for about 20 years or so, and I left right as COVID hit to take this new journey in life. Why not? The pandemic change industries, but the first thing that blew me away about the whole thing is just how much they have changed. They feel like a traditional home. The feeling is to change a lot. And that's been my favorite thing about being there at the dealership and having folks that have come in that haven't been in, they grew up in one that was built in the 70s or 80s or something of that nature. And they're blown away with the quality that they're built to now. So that's something I really urge all of you to take the advantage, come out, call Kaylee, set up an appointment so one of us can be available to walk you through our display models and see what we've got going on. Bryant was talking a little bit about what we do as far as how we can partner with y'all. If you have folks that have purchased land, we'd definitely be willing to pay you a commission. And basically you're just turning that person over to us. So, you kind of get your hands out of it at that point, but we can pay a 3% commission on the purchase of the home, the cost of the home. Okay. We can't do it on the full construction cost because we don't make money on our construction end of things. Our profit's solely in the house. So that's where we'd have to cap that. We can't overcharge folks for the construction costs. It's just not the way we operate. But then also, we definitely be willing to do 5% on our spec projects when we have those. We just finished a 17 unit modular home development out in in Hendersonville that, gosh, of course, it's been through the years, but I mean, we're selling complete modular homes, 1,500 square feet roughly with concrete driveways for around the 375, 390 mark. So sub 400,000 with covered porches on, 3/4 of an acre, paved road, nice traditional subdivision. We do our manufactured home specs. Of course, everything's relative on the cost of land, right? The cost to develop, but traditionally right now we're sitting in the $250,000 to $300,000 range on a complete, well, septic, the whole 9 yards. Okay, we typically don't get into HOAs, that kind of stuff. But it very possibly will be a private road situation. We've done. I was speaking with Mr. Booth, I believe it was, about cross mods, and I don't know if that might be a new term to quite a few of you. So it's basically a hybrid that Clayton has come out with between modular construction and manufactured construction. There's certain requirements in construction that it might have to have a certain covered porch or a garage. It has to have bigger overhangs. They do a pit set so it doesn't sit up in the air quite as much. You're going to have more traditional couple of stairs to entry type of situation. And those are available for traditional Fannie and Freddie type of financing. Okay. One of the issues we fight, and kind of rolling this back to affordable housing, is just where we can put them. The cross mods still have a HUD label to them. Okay. So that hybrid, the whole intention is try to, find that happy medium price point that gives you more the feel of a modular home, but it still has a HUD label. Okay. And sorry.
I just talking about some of the characteristics. It would
Yeah.
have multiple.
It's going to have a higher pitch roof, a minimum of, I think it's a 512 roof, drywall finish on the inside,
Hardwood cabinets.
hardwood cabinets, things of that nature. But with them having the HUD code on it, yes, ma'am.
Is it on frame? So it stays on frame?
So
Yes.
yes, it
And What's
does.
the difference in cost between that and the same thing in modular?
So you're probably going to save, a lot of variables in there with foundations and things of that nature, but I would say you're probably going to save somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 grand, probably.
20 or less. It all depends.
Yeah.
You could may only save maybe 10,000.
So 20 grand less because you're saving on the crane, you're saving on the foundation, you're saving on setup and delivery, you don't have to do on foundation.
The foundation is actually going to cost you very much the same. Okay, because the foundation is going to be very much the same as a modular, but yes, you are saving on the crane, you're saving on some of your setup costs
Electrical
and things. The cost of the home is a little bit less than a modular also. But yeah, relatively, I'd say 10 to 20, somewhere in that range, typically. The issue we have to, what I was kind of getting to there is being able to place them somewhere. Obviously, Asheville City and Hendersonville, a lot of municipalities zone against us putting manufactured homes inside the city limits. So a lot of that's coming to the outside of the city limits. Let's see, go ahead.
We'll talk about investors. I know quite a few of you have investors kind of in your pocket, and they're like, find me a house, or find me a deal, or find me something that you can make money on, I can make money on. So we have quite a few investors, probably, I'd say on the regular, probably 8 to 12 that we work with. Some are represented by realtors, some not, that we've just built a relationship with, that will actually come, and we have an investor deal that they'll actually come and buy. You can sell them, get them to our place, but we'll actually do an investor type deal where we would give the investor an opportunity to make some money. So basically selling a home, small percentage over invoice. So if you have someone that's an investor, typically we're looking, they'll pay cash to us, and they have a piece of property. With quite a few that are our investors are just land developers, and they were builders, they were flippers, and they're like, hey, I can't find land, or I can't find, I have land, but I don't want to go 8-10 months to build a house. You can come to us, and it's property zone or whatever, and we can set up an investor deal for you and give them an opportunity to build one and resell it. So we have quite a few of those.
Is that the hard copy book that we've got there? If you could pass that around, the picture on the front of that is actually the cross mod that we did in Henderson County. Okay. The big thing with those is they, according to Fannie and Freddie guidelines, they are to be comped they can be comped to site-built homes of similar quality. Okay. Because they really built to a lot of the same standards.
So are these allowed in city limits?
They're not still because of that HUD label on them. Yeah,
But
that's
full
our biggest problem.
modular is,
Modulars typically are always allowed inside city limits unless you've got some specific deed restrictions for subdivision or something like that.
You might speak to the difference in the modular and the manufactured homes. What's the difference?
Well, okay, so manufactured homes are built to HUD code, which is federal code, okay? Everybody knows about the two, steel I-beams underneath each section. That's where you're getting all your load-bearing support. So the you know, a modular home is going to have a perimeter concrete foundation typically, that we're gonna lift that thing up off of its carrying frame or traveling down the road with a crane and set it down on that foundation, okay? Whereas a modular home is built to state and local building codes, just similar to your site-built homes, okay? It's just produced in a factory, so we're not exposed to the elements as much as traditional site-built homes are.
Typically,
Cross mods are comparable to site builds, but they're still financed more like.
No, they are financed just like modulars or site-built would be, okay? That's,
They still have that.
but they still have the HUD label, and certain elements help them, like doing the steel I-beams. So when you do the steel I-beams, you're getting a majority of your load-bearing support right there on those I-beams, okay? So it allows you to do smaller dimensional floor joists, okay? So you save a little bit of money there. And that, I guess that's really the kind of the biggest difference. It's nothing you're gonna see aesthetically. And that's what I love and really hope I can get y'all to come out to see is when folks come out and they walk through the house and they say, oh, this is modular. No, it's still a double wide. You know,
Yeah.
no, we can have it made as a modular and then automatically that roof pitch is gonna come up. But that's kind of that hybrid thing with the cross mod is you're mandatory, you're gonna have that steeper roof pitch. So basically, when somebody drives by, it's still gonna look like a site-built home. We're gonna have to do that, those aesthetics with the covered porch off of it and things of that nature. Okay, but most of what you're seeing here is some of the, this one, for example, is in that 17 unit modular subdivision that we did. And of course, you know, these just come as big flat rectangles for the most part. And then we do the, you know, custom porch on the front kind of thing like that with the concrete driveways. And then this is another one, that same subdivision, we did a shed roof with, you know, that kind of stuff. Oh, right now in Hendersonville, well, this one's probably gonna be knocking around 400,000. This land is, we got a pretty good deal on something, we had it for a little while, kind of thing. And that one, I think we sold it 380, 375, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay.
What were those called? Which ones were those?
Those were actually off-frame modulars. Okay, so our manufactured homes, what we've done the most with for our specs, you know, we've gone with bigger boxes, okay, and not as high a quality finish. Okay, we're not doing drywall finish typically on our spec mods. It's going to be or our spec manufactured homes. It's going to be more traditional batten strip finish. But the interior other features, you're still getting fiberglass showers with a lot of them, porcelain sinks and some upgrades like that.
What's the smallest size?
Gosh, I've got one manufacturer that will do a single section home that is like 16 by 48. It's the smallest I do. Some of the other pictures that might be going around would show you more of a bungalow style home. Yeah, very much. Now that's a single section, that's 16 foot wide. So it's a single section home with a factory built covered porch on it. So
And
it
you
comes
can
that way.
do drywall on these or no?
Yes, those come, the only way those come is with drywall.
Mhm.
I've seen these pictures if you want to look into it.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, actually, this is a picture inside that home.
Question about if the county has short-term limits and it goes through that you can't have trailer as short-term limit. Would your cross modular fall in that category? You could not use it as a short-term limit because it does have the HUD label.
Back that one up for me. So the county they are proposing,
It's just a proposal, you know, has it gone through that you cannot have short-term limit for a mobile home?
really?
Now, that's just a proposal.
Wow.
May not go through,
Yeah.
but if it does, would your cross modular?
So it has a
fall in that
complete
category?
different designation, which is why it is allowed to be, you know, why Fannie and Freddie treat it differently with financing. I would assume that, yeah, that it should be allowed. It's really gonna depend on how, I guess that's worded, their proposal. Yeah.
The only word they really use so far is, I think, just manufactured.
See, manufacturing is such a loose term, you know, I mean, that
Modular
takes,
manufactured.
SIP panels is that's a manufactured home, you know, it's underneath those guidelines. So are modulars. Yeah, it's really gonna depend on how exactly the terminology they use, I would assume. And what's so shocking to me is we sell a ton of homes to
Oh, yeah.
folks that are doing them for short-term rentals. My least expensive home that we have is a single section. It's a 14 by 60, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, no frills whatsoever. Okay, this is as basic as price point home as you can get, kind of thing. We sell, gosh, I think we've probably sold at least 10 of them this year to folks specifically that's what they're doing is short-term rentals. They're putting them up on a piece of property. They got a nice view and
One a
they
day,
run
right?
with it. Sir?
Said 10 this year, I said, yeah, one a day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean,
Last year.
specifically for that point, I mean, we probably sold 30 or 40 of them this year,
Is that mostly Buncombe County or Henderson County or Jasper?
we go a little further than that. So we do Henderson County, Buncombe County, Madison. We've gone into Yancey County a little bit. That starts pushing our limits a little bit.
We're a little bit McDowell too.
Yeah, we definitely go down the Mountain Polk, Rutherford, McDowell, those areas. So we try to stay within about an hour, hour and a half of our dealership because we have a service warranty team. Okay, so the factories warranty the homes, but really they're not going to send anybody out. So we have some folks that are dedicated to do that. So we need to make sure we keep you close enough that if we're selling you a home, we want to make sure we can service you after you're in the home.
Turnaround time.
Turnaround time is a good question. A lot of that depends on the property, okay? And getting through permitting and things of that nature. If your property was 100% ready right now, depending on what factory I can get the home from, probably looking at about 2 months to get the home from the factory. You'll find I tend to work on I'm gonna try to be your hero at the end of the day. I'm gonna tell you kind of a worst case scenario is my preference, and then hopefully show up a little sooner than what I'm telling you. But typically we're looking about, yeah, I'd say 2 months. Some other people in the office would say 4 to 6 weeks kind of thing, you know? And they might be more accurate than me, but I like to hedge my bets a little bit. So, and then once I get it to your property on a double wide, I'm probably done in less than 2 months, waiting on power. Of course, Duke can be our nemesis sometimes. They've been out of transformers. I don't know how many times over the last couple of years. It's just the weirdest thing ever. But you know, so yeah, but typically on something like that, on a modular, might be 3 months, a little more involved. On a single section, 30 to 60 days, kind of max. Anybody have any other questions for us? I think we kind of hit most of the notes here.
I did have a question, but the staging you got.
Obviously, on our end, you understand the terms. What does the due diligence process look like for someone who's considering a piece of land and wanting you to check it out? When they buy it and realize it's done.
Yes.
And then what are some of the sort of land prep and grading? Very greatly based on the property.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of examples of this is the type of property, this is how much it's kind of costing to get it ready.
I mean, well, as you know, I mean, with grading and things of that nature, you know, it's anything can be overcome with the right amount of money, you know? You know, typically, I mean, on a real good piece of property that doesn't have, you know, it's already been cleared, say, we're probably running in the neighborhood of about $10,000 for bare minimum gravel driveway, you know, just bare minimum excavation with it. And then probably another, you know, $6,000 or so for a septic system, 3-bedroom conventional system. And that's pretty well a perfect property, you know. I've seen them go up to gosh, I've got one on the side of mountain right now that the septic system and the excavation is running us around 80 grand by itself. You know.
Would you say that's like a, comparison of a flat property versus a 5-foot crawl versus the foundation is going to need to be at least basically basement height?
Yeah, so that's kind of where this one is. So we, yeah, that's the more extreme type of situation. We're actually grading the property out to where we're still not going to have a huge crawl space. But in order to make sure we get water shed away, positive drainage and things, that's kind of what we're looking at on that. More traditional, gosh, what would you say?
I'd say on average, especially if you got to put a well in and all that stuff, the wells now easily.
Well, I was just talking about pure, in my numbers, I was talking about pure grade. Yeah.
Okay.
Septic.
Yeah, I'd say on average, septic grading, you're 20 to 30 grand.
Yeah. And he pays the bills, so he's probably.
Yeah, 20, 30 grand. I mean, but we're talking about a lot that there's some minimal trees to be removed, driveway, house pad, septic. Because they're backfilling involved. There's quite a few things there, but it's anywhere, I'd say 20 and 30 grand for.
That's typically resulting in like a 2 to 6 foot tall crawl sort of a situation.
You're probably going to end up with minimum more like three. Yeah, 3 to 6, because just depending on how things are done, because a lot of the codes regulate with ductwork coming underneath that crossover, and things, and it's a distance from grade from that ductwork. So yeah, we're typically more 3 foot kind of minimum.
Try to keep it within that 3 to 5 foot.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, what was the first part of your? I jumped right into the.
That's a good question.
Oh
Oh, yeah. The due diligence
Oh,
process.
yeah. That's a great one, because I get really pinched up over this with folks coming in and telling me, hey, I'm under contract, we're closing in 20 days. Like, have you done anything? So yeah, typically what I like to stress folks with is, not, if they're going, most kind of vacant land, doesn't have a current septic perk test or anything of that nature. So I'm typically looking for a bare minimum of 30, 60, if we've got some financing involved, days of due diligence. Okay. So we don't go through the county. We hire a soil scientist to do our septic perk test, so that, benefits the seller and us, we can get our information much faster. Because typically he's about 2, maybe 3 weeks at most out. So we can typically get his information much sooner.
A lot of the counties are, to get a perk test, some of those are
Oh, yeah.
2 months.
We
3
know.
months out.
Yeah,
You know.
you're well aware, aren't you?
But I mean, more as far as someone considering a piece of property and wants you all to check it out. We want to kind of help you all as well, because sometimes we have clients who are like, here's 60 listings, pick one for me.
And that's what I
versus-
tell them, because of being in the industry. I tell them, listen, it's not your realtor's fault, because I get a lot of complaints that they're sending me 60, 70 listings, and it's like, if they put too small of parameters on you, you're going to miss the perfect property. So look at all of them. And what I like to make them do first, just as I did as a realtor, is go drive by it first. Go take a look at it. Is this steep? And we're on a tight budget. This is not the right property for you, kind of thing. Also the big ones, do you like the neighborhood? I got very sick very quick as a realtor, taking folks to properties. Oh, I'll never live in this neighborhood. Why did we show up? So, yeah, those kind of simple requests.
How easy is it then to get you all to go out and look?
So typically we're about a week out. We do require, I'm going to require everybody to have $1,000 minimum refundable down payment with us, or deposit. Okay.
That has to be on file, even to go look at a property?
If you're going to work with us, you're going to get this $1,000 refundable deposit. It's 100% refundable. Okay. It doesn't cost you a thing for us to come out and look at property for you. But if we have to hire the soil engineer, now you've just paid some money. So But typically we're about a week out. We're very blessed and stay very, very busy, and so does our site coordinator. So unless I've got somebody serious enough that they're willing to give me a refundable amount of money, then I'm not going to waste anybody's time with going to have to look at a bunch of different properties for them. But we try to stay on it pretty quick because we know sellers are anxious, agents are anxious. We got to get things taken care of within that due diligence period. And we do our best to stay in close communication with when there's a real estate agent involved about making sure we're hitting all the benchmarks we need during that due diligence period. Keep you up to speed. So if you do need to do an extension or something. Okay.
The $40,000 starting price gets you what?
So that is that 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single section home. It's 14 feet by 60 feet. It's about
Almost 800 square.
almost 800 square feet. And the pricing of our homes, that comes with your appliances. It's a smooth top, black Frigidaire. We do all Frigidaire appliances, refrigerator, dishwasher, range vent, your heat Carrier Smart Comfort electric furnace is in that. Actually converting that into a heat pump is part of our construction cost. Okay.
What's the countertop?
I'm sorry?
What are the countertops?
Laminate.
Okay.
Yeah, all of our manufacturers, even our highest end manufacturer that does modulars and manufactured homes, they all do laminate countertops. They tried solid surface countertops for a while and realized that they don't travel very well. So that was a big cost learning curve on that one. I've done some custom ones before on modulars where we order it without the countertops, and we'll have a local supplier come in and do granite or whatever the customer likes for. Yeah, we can do that kind of stuff. But traditionally, it's all going to be laminate. They do have a pretty wide variety of fake wood looking stuff and other type countertops. So you get some color choices with your cabinetry when you're in the upper end type of.
But the lower, like that single wide would just have white cabinets, or?
They're brown with just almost a marbly type of laminate looking countertop. Yeah.
You said those are drywall or drywall?
That particular one is not drywall. Yeah.
40 is just the price of the house. It doesn't include any center delivery.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're probably looking, and it's the price we have on that home is exactly like 49,000. And you're probably looking in the neighborhood of, if everything's just standard for your delivery and everything, and doing the vinyl underpinning for it, you're looking at probably about $75,000 plus whatever your permitting cost and your taxes would be, because there's taxes involved. No, ma'am. That's yes, thank you. That does not include any site work. So no well, septic, grading, anything. That's if you're ready for it and we can bring it out and set it up for you. That's the kind of cost you're looking at.
So you're saying another 25 is to have the truck deliver it.
Yeah, so it's delivery and
that's your heat pump, minimum size decks, the underpinning, the plumbing connections, electrical connections, gutters, hooking it to existing well and septic. Yes. Yeah.
What was the square footage?
This one's right at about 800 square feet. 789 or something like that.
So you'd be around 100 minimum probably by the time you got out.
Potentially, yeah. There again, depending on your property, but yeah.
we have a lot of people that are a lot of customers will put them in communities. So we have some agents that will come to us and go, hey, I have a friend or whatever that has a place, it was a home there 5-6 years ago, whatever. So everything's there. Maybe you're just talking about scraping the grass off, but the water and septic and all's there. If y'all have someone like that, partner with us. It's on a flat fee type basis on those type transactions, but we have realtors that'll call us. I think you've had a few transactions last year. because you can't technically sell a manufactured home without land, but we could pay you a fee, a flat fee or referral.
And you were talking about investors earlier, Gosh, we partnered with a gentleman down in Arden, gosh, it's been about a year and a half ago now, that had a 55, a very clean, nice looking paved road, 55 and older, single wide community. Okay, where everybody, of course, still pays a lot rent and that stuff, but we had 30 brand new spots that we filled up in 10 months, I think it was, something like that. It was
30,
yeah.
33, I think. Is what
Because we have that's kind of coming back to the affordable housing. We get so many folks in our office from out of state, obviously, like y'all do. But looking for that simple living like that, you know, it's most of these folks can't afford the lock and go condo type of housing that we have around here, but they're eating these up. I mean, gosh, I bet we turned away another 20 people after we already had these sold for this park owner. And it was a situation where they were buying their homes from us and, you know, sticking them in his place, and he'll just get the residual lot rental on it. We even did several what we call specs over there, where we just went ahead and stuck a few homes on certain lots and sold those before sold every one of them before they were completed.
Yeah.
So if you know any folks that are in that realm, you can certainly help them with that.
From the investor standpoint, we know at the end of the day, they still want to make money, if they're interested in affordable housing. What sort of a gap are you seeing between cost versus sales price? As far as, for example, if you're selling this for around 400, depending on the piece of land, what could potentially somebody.
So a lot of the times, their equity, so to speak, is maybe where they had acquired the property. So it's the combination of all of it. It's not just a, hey, we're $10,000 off the sticker price or whatever it may be, but it's the overall package where we'll look at it with them. I mean, typically we're saying, savings of it all depends.
It's kind of hard to answer because we deal with so many different types of investors. I'm currently dealing with a couple of realtors that are wanting us to do everything turnkey for them. Okay, so obviously they can't get as big of a discount on the house if I'm still going to have to be responsible for your well, septic, the whole yards. Okay. We have a realtor that we deal with a lot down in Henderson County that just simply wants the home. She takes care of everything else. Correct. Well, she gets the best deal that there is, kind of thing, you know. So it really comes down to what our responsibilities are going to be. But these few folks that I'm speaking of have seen enough equity in it. They've done multiple homes with us. Yeah, it's about the best way I can answer that question, I think.
So you're saying if I pick it up myself, I might do this, right?
Correct, yeah.
So 49 is the price when you pick it up myself. How does sales tax work on that?
It's a very weird algorithm that I have not quite figured out.
It's total, so it's total sales price.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but we'll tell you the math is total sales price of the home. Divided
by 2, yeah.
And then times 4.75%.
That's the number.
So
Okay.
it's 50, divided by 225 times 4.75 is your sales tax.
Is your sales tax.
Or even make that up, right?
Great state of North Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina's funny. A lot of states like South Carolina doesn't charge sales tax. Well, it is, but I think it's like
It's even less.
$300 or $0 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back in the day, Oakwood was so high end, like, is it still the higher end place, or is there?
Oakwood isn't a manufacturer anymore. So Oakwood used to be, their own retail and manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
And then they got in financial trouble, and Clayton Homes, they bought a lot of them out. Most every dealership you see around is under that same umbrella. And as Brian was saying earlier, Berkshire Hathaway owns the whole kit and caboodle, so we are under Mr. Buffett.
So we kept the Oakwood brand
Yeah.
name. Yeah, Oakwood brand name is all different.
Warren owns you.
Yeah. Along with everybody else, I think.
Hines and Fruit of the Loom and
Yeah.
Railways and, yeah, a bunch of them.
So does Clayton have a special for park owners that if you buy X amount of houses, do they have like a finance program or what advantages do they have to buy multiple houses?
Finance program for.
You're a
park
park,
owners.
so if you are a park owner, let's say you were gonna do, I think it's 10 or more. We have a part of our company, wing of our company, does offer financing for park owners.
Is that through Vanderbilt or is that?
Vanderbilt, yes. Yeah, they do have a new program that they will, I think it just got started. So, yeah, if you're a new park owner, maybe it's, you know, you've got this perfect piece of property and maybe you're gonna do multiple 10 or more, and you even need money, I think, with infrastructure and all that stuff. There's an opportunity there. I don't know what all the terms are and all. I haven't done one. But yeah, there's an opportunity to.
Well, I read about a floor planning program that they have where they would let you floor plan it and then you sell it after you put it on your property to someone else and then it pays off that floor planning basically. But,
I don't know that. That's a good one.
everything
typically-
online is true.
Good, bad, or ugly, right?
Yeah. Typically, in order to get floor planning, most of the time they require you to be a dealer of some sort. Maybe you don't have a brick and mortar, but it's, you know,
But you'd have to have your state license.
Yeah.
and all that, yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit more involved. But anybody that if you know, if you have someone, if you guys want to partner and do something, we'll definitely make it worth your while. We'll show you. And if it doesn't make sense, we'll tell you, hey, we're not here to just sell you home and go, good luck. You know, we hope it works out. I mean, we want you to be able to make money if you were to invest, or one of your investors wanted to invest and buy a home. We want it to make sense.
That's kind of going back to when you were talking about time, or somebody asked about time frame on things. If you're 100% ready, we can get going. But if not, then we've got to get through a lot of hurdles, and financing can be a big part of that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
For sure. Good questions. You got one. You thinking one? You know.
Are all the potential floor plans easy to, I mean, I've been on the website before, but is that in totality all the available floor plans, or is it possible for someone to be more custom, find something else?
so we have two manufacturers that will do some customization. I recently built a modular from our factory that does the most customizations, and they hated me. I still get nasty emails about it, but because I tried to make them a custom home builder and found out very quickly they are not. They are production facilities. Now, with that said, they still allowed me to expand the footprint of the home to allow for stairs to be built to the basement that it was set on, and you know, some other things like that. So they did let me move some rooms around and change things. Of course, with these having to be approved by states to get the state, you know, stamp, whenever you start changing large facets of this floor plan, especially plumbing and, you know, electrical things like that, and structural, it has to go back through the state and engineering and a third party, and so it does prolong your whole production time.
It's easy to take what they already have and make tweaks. Then we've had engineers before and
Oh yeah,
builders, you know, they'll draw out something, go
come in with their own
build that.
schematic, and
And then our manufacturing facility will say, well, the closest thing we have to that is this, and we could do that.
But maybe moving around a couple walls or something.
Mhm.
That's-
Yeah, we do that quite often. Certain homes that are 3-bedroom homes that they just want they want a 2-bedroom home. And depending on how the layout is, we can omit that bedroom altogether, as long as we're not making too big of a span that engineering won't allow, kind of thing.
Something else too, I want to tell you, if you guys have, I know often maybe you'll list something, maybe it's it's a tear down, there's an older home there, and
Oh, gotcha.
we're interested in buying them. So, if someone has it, or maybe it's an old dilapidated home that's just like, we're just really selling for land, please call us, because we'll do a quick due diligence that makes sense, and it's something we can turn around and close in 2 weeks. And we're paying cash, and we'll make it fast and easy. Won't waste your time, but if you have anything like that whatsoever, or it's a manufactured home that maybe needs a little love, a little TLC, call us for that, because we have the ability to buy that home fast. And I know you have probably a page full of investors that want that same thing, but just know that, keep us in mind for those.
What did you cost to take down a home?
To take-
A dilapidated?
It varies because it's weight. A lot of it's weight and material. You get into asbestos, and that's going to cost you more. I mean, I've seen bills as low as $4,000 on some, and I've seen them as high as about $9,000. No, but
Most of the time we're talking
Josh
about
is
smaller.
Yeah, I'm talking about typically a smaller home kind of stuff. I'd love to know. We've got another, our sales manager has a customer right now that's taking down an old true stone home. And I would be very interested to see what he's paying for that. But he's doing it himself. It's outside of our contract, so I'm not certain what he's paying for that.
I mentioned you said on the lender part, so y'all still have different lenders come to you from different types of clients, or was Vanderbilt one of the main just common ones y'all see?
So it really depends on what you're doing. Vanderbilt has a lot of different options that they can do, and they can help a lot of folks with very poor credit, to be frank about it. We utilize, y'all probably utilize Cornerstone Mortgage down in Arden. You've probably heard of Sonia and Tim down there. They've been around for a minute. So yeah, we utilize a bunch of different lenders. We've got
5 or 6 that are something. We have a
Yeah.
lender board, so we have a customer, like Brian said, we have different lenders that do different things. Vanderbilt is one entity that offers what's called a chattel loan, a home only loan. So if someone had, already had their land, and they're like, I don't want to encumber it in any type of way, I don't want to use it for collateral, I just need the home turnkey. Vanderbilt will come up with terms, whether it's 0 down, depending on your credit, or if it's 5% down, whatever it may be. And they'll finance the home and the setup of it. When I say setup, I'm talking about HVAC and plumbing and gutters and decks and skirting and all that stuff. So they'll do just a chattel loan, home only, right? They also offer land home or land in lieu. So if someone had land and they're, you're going to get a better rate if you're tying your land up with it, right? Interest rate normally is a little bit less. So Vanderbilt offers that. We have other lenders that like prime lending or
Go Prime or Cornerstone's what I've always called it.
Yeah, they don't offer anything chattel, so everything's just like your traditional mortgage where your land and your home is all one. They generally normally de-title the manufactured home if it's a manufactured home. If it's a modular, then it's real property anyway. So
yeah, it seems to be good. It's the manufacturer home, but those avenues.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and we've got lenders that will also do the FHA and USDA construction loan. So it's an upfront close. They'll go ahead and purchase the land that you've got them under contract for, and then they're holding the rest of the money in escrow for the construction of the home. So
if you have someone that's kind of tight on budget, they come to you and they're like, hey, I need to be under 300 grand. Help me find a piece of land. You find, let's just say wherever it is, it's Transylvania County, and they have a budget of 40 grand. A lot of times these customers will come to us too, and they'll go, hey, I want to get pre-qualified. And the bank and then the lenders establishes that budget. And then we just kind of work it backwards and look at the land and all that stuff. But we have financing available that does, like Brian says, like an upfront close. So sometimes some of these customers have very little skin in the game. I mean, sometimes it's as low as $2,000 or something.
Yeah, on the USDA.
Yeah, USDA type lending. So pretty cool stuff.
You guys also can typically come in with a piece of land already, can do a construction loan, and their down payment can be the value of the land.
Absolutely.
Not
Yeah.
Anything else into it at that point.
Yep. And if you have that client, and you're like, hey, man, you know, there'll be very little we're asking you to do. If you like that scenario, you have a buyer and you're like, hey, I know this guy, he's a great guy, you know, he's a friend of mine, whatever. I'm gonna refer him to you, Brian. You know, literally, you just we'll sign an agency agreement if the deal goes through.
Yeah,
Whatever it
it's
is.
not a matter of we
don't
need
have
you to
to-
hold their hand or anything. We'll take it from there kind of
Yeah.
situation. But then they'll pay you a commission on it.
We have that happen probably at least 7 to 10 times a year. We'll have a realtor call us and go, hey, you know, I can't find them anything, but their uncle's willing to give them a piece of property for.
We do that a
10
lot
grand,
of
yeah.
families that, you know, it's mom and dad or grandma and grandpa own 20 acres, whatever it is. And now the nephew or son or whatever needs a home and they don't want to tie up their land. That's where that Vanderbilt mortgage comes in very handy is they don't want to take the risk, you know, grandma and grandpa don't want to take the risk of losing that over a single wide or a double wide, you know, kind of situation. So Vanderbilt can finance just that home by itself and they are going to pay a higher rate, but it keeps that land out of it. Right. Any other questions? It's been great. I was nervous as hell.
He's running all his people, man. I don't know why you're nervous. Let me tell you,
We are not
we
public
started out, he wanted me to do all the talking, of course, and I knew it was gonna go. We knew exactly how it was gonna go down.
I was feeling nervous for you.
I was just waiting, anticipating you to come in.
Yeah.
All right, it's about time for it. Go ahead, go. Oh, man.
Before y'all leave, if you want to stop by and there's like a day or time that y'all want to come by and check out our manufactured homes, then we go do lunch or something, just come over and let me know. I got my planner out, so we'll figure something out.
You won't be disappointed. I'll assure you, I've been in and around this industry for almost 30 years now. Well, 30 years now. Yeah, this last, yeah, this month. Anyway, 29 now, it's the end of this month, but end of this year, but they have changed tremendously. I remember 20 some odd years ago, they came out with an energy, I think they just called it an energy efficient home. And it just blows my mind now. Just the look, the appearance, some of the features now that we have now.
We're using name brand stuff. It blew me away. It's you know, it's a Ring hybrid heat pump water heater that goes in all the homes.
Yeah.
No matter whether it's the $50,000 one or the $350,000 home,
Yeah.
the same one. Carrier Smart Comfort furnaces. I mean,
For sure.
that's what's blown me away about the industry and kind of why I left real estate to go do this. It's like, you know, it's the affordable option and they're building them. They've got rid of a lot of what I always felt was sleeves to it. You know, I mean, just to be quite frank about it. It was, I heard, in a continuing ed class ages ago, I heard a teacher that had actually consulted for manufactured home facilities where the salespeople were telling them it's built just like the mayor's house, or just like, you know, the governor's house. No, it's not. And it's still not. It's getting closer, a lot closer. And a lot of them are built much better than the 1950s home that I had a while back, you know, so.
Sure. Many homes we sell, we're still probably less than 10% of the homes sold, new homes, you know, sold. So we really feel like we're gonna, in the next few years, because of some of our energy efficiency building, ways that we're building our homes and how affordable and how well built they are, we're gonna get up a little bit, get over that 10% threshold and make a lot of people happy. But we appreciate your time. We really do. Y'all taking time to come out. You could have just went and bought your own lunch and decided to come in and listen to us, and that means a lot. We appreciate your time for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good info.
Good job.